ส่วนผู้หญิงในรูปคือคนที่ไอร่ารักมากที่สุดคือเหตุผลที่ไอร่าไม่อยากจะปล่อยมือพี่เขาอีกได้กลับมาจับมือกันและนี่คือพี่ตะวันค่ะแฟนของไอร่าเอง
The days grew heavier for Ayla, each one pressing down on her like the closing walls of a prison.
ขอโทษคุณธนาด้วยนะคะ ที่ทำตัวไม่เหมาะสมแบบนี้ ทั้งแอบมาหาไอลาที่บ้านหนูขอโทษค่ะพ่อ
What little freedom she once had was stripped away piece by piece until she could barely breathe without feeling the weight of her father's control. Mr. Thana's trust in her had completely vanished. He no longer allowed her the dignity of choosing her own steps or the privacy of her own thoughts.
มีข่าวเช้าแบบนี้ถ้าทางจะไม่รอด
ต้องขอโทษด้วยนะคะไรเลยไม่ได้ทำอะไรผิดเลย
To ensure her obedience, he placed a new team of guards at her side, men trained to be as watchful as shadows and as unrelenting as stone.
นายคะแต่กระแสโซเชียลจะไม่เป็นไรความรักมันเป็นสิ่งสวยงามอะไม่ว่าอะไรจะเกิดขึ้นฉันจะยืนอยู่ข้างไอร่า
They followed her everywhere, eyes sharp and calculating, their presence a constant reminder that her life was no longer her own. Every movement was observed.
ขอบคุณนายมากๆนะคะที่เข้าใจพวกเราเธอสองคนไม่ได้ทำอะไรผิดความรักของเธอสองคนมันเป็นสิ่งสวยงามจะตายอ่ะ
Every movement was observed, every attempt at independence suffocated before it even began.
กลับบ้านกับพ่อเดี๋ยวนี้
ไม่ค่ะ เสร็จธุระตะวันจะเข้าไปหาที่บ้านเองค่ะ
ยังทำเรื่องไม่พออีกเหรอ
Yet, within the cage of her father's making, Ayla's spirit refused to break. The more suffocating his rules became, the more fiercely her heart rebelled against them.
ใครเพ้อเจ้อมึงหรือกู
ตะวัน กลับบ้านกับพ่อเดี๋ยวนี้ คนในตระกูลเราเนี่ย ไม่มีทางไปเกี่ยวดองกับตระกูลของมันเด็ดขาดนี่
พี่ว่าเราสองคนกลับบ้านไปก่อนดีไหมไปคุยไปเคลียร์กันที่บ้านนะ
Every slammed door, every clipped command, every cold glance from her guards only sharpened her determination. She was not a pawn to be moved at her father's whim, nor a daughter to be used as leverage in his schemes. She was Ayla, a woman with her own desires, her own dreams, her own heartbeat. And that heartbeat ached for one person above all others, Tawan. She was her solace, her fire, the one who reminded her of what it felt like to be alive in a world that constantly tried to silence her. Far away, Tawan carried her own burden. Each day without Ayla felt like battle she was losing, but surrender was not in her nature. She knew the power Mr. Thana wielded and the danger that came with defying him. Yet her love gave him strength stronger than fear. Love had reshaped her, turning hesitation into courage, doubt into conviction. Standing in the solitude of her small room, she clenched her fist and whispered a vow to herself, one that rang with defiance against the odds. No walls are high enough, no guards strong enough to keep me from her. It was less a promise and more a challenge thrown at destiny itself. The night, as the city came alive with glowing lights and distant murmurs of life, Ayla decided she could wait no longer. With each cautious step, her pulse thundered in her ears, urging her forward. She moved with the precision of someone whose freedom depended on every breath, every motion. The mansion's hallways felt endless, but determination carried her through them. At last, slipping past the final pair of watchful eyes, she stepped into the night. The cool air rushed against her skin, exhilarating and terrifying all at once. For the first time in weeks, she was not Mr. Thana's captive. She was Ayla, untethered, unclaimed, and racing towards her destiny. At the end of that desperate flight, destiny was waiting in the form of Tawan. The moment their gazes collided, the weight of separation crumbled. Tears welled in Ayla's eyes as she closed the distance between them, collapsing into her arms with all the urgency of someone who had been starved of love. Tawan's embrace was steady and fierce, her hold a vow stronger than any words. She pressed her forehead to hers, whispering promises into the night that she would never abandon her, that no force could tear them apart, no matter the price. In her arms, Ayla felt safe, but more than that, she felt free. It was then, in the hush of their reunion, that Ayla spoke the truth she had kept hidden for too long. Her voice trembled but did not falter as she confessed she no longer wanted to live under her father's shadow. It wasn't enough just to love Tawan in secret. She wanted a life of her own making, a future not dictated by fear or control. No more locked doors, no more invisible chains. With Tawan beside her, she believed she could claim that freedom. Her courage fueled her, and her strength anchored her. They were mirrors of each other's resolve. But while love gave them courage, the world around them was not so kind. Back at the mansion, Mr. Thana discovered his daughter's defiance. His fury was chilling, the kind that burned without flame. His voice cut through the air like a blade as he swore retribution. If she refuses to obey, he declared with venomous finality, then I will bend her to my will by force. And so the episode drew to a close. On a moment both beautiful and terrifying, Ayla and Tawan's love burned like a fragile flame in the darkness, brilliant against the void, yet so delicate it could be extinguished with a single merciless breath.
Want more queer content? Then please subscribe and hit the notification bell.